all the liveries for the 2024 F1 season have been revealed. So it is time to do a tier list ranking of these liveries. We've got our different tiers: biblical, great, solid, mid, and oh brother, what is that? Okay, to be honest, maybe we could have, maybe combined solid and mid, but I just want to give us a little bit of leeway to really nitpick the liveries, as to my surprise, in the last stream for the Red Bull livery, which was the last car, I asked you guys in chat if you would like to see a tier list of some kind to know my ranking, and so many of you were interested. So even though it's a very small, relaxed sort of video, I thought, why not? Why not? It seems like people are interested, and you guys can have a discussion of your own in the comments below, obviously, of what your ranking is, basically, and you can have a go at how wrong my choices are going to end up being, apparently. So I'm going to kick things off with Oh Brother, What Is That? And for me, it's a solid Alpine in Oh Brother, What Is That? Alpine, dear Lord, dear Lord, okay? Yes, okay, I did see that photo of the Alpine livery on an F2 car in the rain at Bahrain. It looked a bit cooler than the launch of the Alpine car, but I'm putting it in Oh Brother, What Is That? Because when you look at the details, you're just like, okay, let's get away from the fact it's all carbon pretty much and barely any color, and the fact that when they announced it, they went, here's the pink livery, and it was like, that looks the same as the blue livery. Aside from that, if you really look into the details, it's just not even, I just don't really like the design. It's just really weird. They're trying to be too artsy with it, and it's just, no, it's not giving. It's not giving for me, unfortunately. And it makes sense because I found out that apparently the actual F1 team, the livery designers, didn't even get to design it this year. The road car Alpine lot and some random designer or artist designed it. And it makes sense because when you design F1 cars, if you go too artsy and try too hard, it doesn't work sometimes because there needs to be just some fluidity of like the lines, the shapes, and it needs to look good zoomed out, not just zoomed into the details, basically. And it fell foul of that. And also, just to be honest, this is the worst of the lot when it comes to the whole carbon fiber meta, because compared to its usual livery, it's been butchered, absolutely butchered. I'm going to go to the other end of the spectrum, and I'm going to go for a great car. I'm going to go for a great car, and that is going to be Aston Martin. It is a great car, okay? If you are one of those people that say the Ferrari is beautiful just because it's a red car, but they've not even changed it that much year to year, then you have to say the Aston Martin is a great car because, yeah, sure, they haven't changed much, but it's still a beautiful little car, lovely little chrome green. It's actually got a decent amount of color on, and they've been quite clever with the paint stripping. They've stripped it in the right areas where you're not going to notice, like the rear wing, large parts of the top and the bottom of the side pods and the front wing. Yeah, and it's just good. It's good. It's kind of becoming, it is an iconic little, number for Aston Martin, lime little green line, and I think it's great. If you're, I personally, say the same thing about Ferrari, great liveries, even though they really don't change that much. It's just a red car. So in that fact, I've got to back myself and say that Aston Martin is a great car. And it is. I mean, also relative to the Alpine at this stage, it is a great livery. We're now going to go to a mid livery, and that is going to be Haas for me. It's mid. It's not Oh Brother, What Is That? It's not quite on the level of Alpine, but it's just a bit mid. It's not solid. I can't go, oh, you know what? Yeah, because it's just, it's a livery definitely made on stripping paint compared to last year's livery. If this livery was on its own in isolation, I feel like if we didn't know what last year's Haas looked like, I would maybe say solid. But because we know what last year's was like, and it's basically last year's minus some paint, I'm going to say mid. It's just got no redeeming features. Like, it's just, cool. You can try and maybe argue to me, oh, no, it's kind of, slick looking, it's solid, it's a good black looking car with some red and white, but nah, it's not giving me any kind of fizz, some excitement about it. It's kind of just, what more did you expect? What more did you expect from Haas? And it's not surprised me. And yeah, like I said, there's no details there that are giving me like, oh, you know what, that's a nice little touch. It's just basically Haas's livery with less paint. And that comes on to my argument of there are some fine details with this team's livery, and that's why it's going solid, not mid. It's close, but it's going in solid, is Williams. Solid livery from Williams, okay? Look, yes, it hasn't changed much from last year's livery. It's very monotone blue, but they've got some lighter shades of blue in there. I like the fact that Williams have just got some more sponsors. That's a good feel vibe. And a livery, you know, the sponsors factor into a livery, okay? Because they're part and part of Formula One livery designs. So the fact they've got more sponsors on the car, a nice big white one on the side pods that contrasts the blue, I like that. I like My Protein on this side. I am a consumer of My Protein, so I like that as well. The Duracell battery bit is slowly becoming very iconic. You know, the battery things on the helmets and the battery on the top. Yeah, it's clever. It's very clever marketing, and it's very nice. I like it. And speaking of details, the engine cover has the old school Williams logo etched into the engine cover. That is a nice little touch. It's a bit of heritage. It's a bit of detailing that we like. We like details. We like heritage. And that's something that the Haas car does not have. So that's probably the only reason why there's a distinction of solid to mid here for me. Because otherwise you could put them in the same category. But no, Williams, solid. Okay, it's solid. It's not great, but it's solid. Sticking with the theme of blue, and in quite a turn of events, the Visa Cash App RB car, it's a great livery. It is a great livery. To be honest, I think it could actually be, honestly, a biblical contention if it wasn't for the white. I don't like the white. Not necessarily in the front wing and rear wing. It's the top of the chassis there, you can see. That band of white, I just think it would have been better if it matched the straight line on the engine cover. Like if the line just carried on, you know, from the engine cover to the chassis. I think that would be nice. And even one further, if they just made the line red and put the Honda in chrome, then it would just secretly be a Toro Rosso 2017 livery, and I would love that, because that was a very, very pretty livery. That was a biblical livery. So, yeah, it's great for me if the white wasn't there, honestly, would actually, quite funny enough, become a biblical car, which is funny because the name is pretty much, oh brother, what is that? But they've redeemed the name with the livery. Kudos to them. Good on them. We're now going to go to another team with a very odd name, Stake F1. And for me, it was tough because when it first launched, I thought, oh, that's a bit mid. Then I thought, oh, the green, you know, is very nice. It stands out. People were, you know, yapping on Twitter about, you know, it slaps. It's out there. For me, I've landed on solid. And I'll tell you why. The colour, I like the colour. It's green, it stands out, it's nice, okay? From the front, okay, a little bit of a meme of like, you know, green screen sort of thing. And it's a shame that, you know, it's called Stake F1. There's no heritage to it. You know, it's going to be much nicer when the team gets called Audi, an actual car brand and stuff. You know, it's a glorified billboard. The same with Visa Cash App RB. But the green, it's nice. It's out there. It's a bit of colour. Yes, there is plenty of paint stripping and black, but there's enough green on there that is going to pop, and it is going to be a nice colourful car on the grid. But the thing is, people, and apparently I'm in a different department to other people, because I saw people loving the side of the car, saying, oh, it looks much better from the side compared to the front because of the line on the side. No, absolutely not. For me, the line on the engine cover, it's giving Podium Pass Season 1 on the F1 game. It's such a generic one. I initially thought it was going to be a K for kick on the side. That would have made more sense, or an S for stake, but no, it's just a random shape, and I don't like that. So that's why it's not great. If it was like a K for kick, I think it would become great. But because it's just a random zigzag, it just feels a bit like this is just generic My Team car creation. And people were clowning it, saying, oh, it's basically my Team car this year at the start of Season 1. Do not insult my Team car like that. Do not do that. But yeah, solid. It's not great, but it's also not mid. It's got, you know, it's got some redeeming features. We're now getting to the interesting portion. We've got some big hitters. We have got some big hitters. Red Bull. Absolutely mid. And it's not, and I'll stop you right there. Yes, I agree with the notion of, you know, I know Tommy from P1 has said this, the Red Bull livery is actually iconic when you think about it because, you know, the Marlboro livery, people love the Marlboro livery and that never changed year to year. I agree with that logical thinking, but the Red Bull livery, yes, the layout may be a bit iconic. Red Bull on the engine cover, Red Bull on the nose. This actual livery, though, has gotten duller as the years have gone on. The fact they've moved to matte paint has made it duller. The fact that they've chosen darker and darker shades of blue every year has made it duller. The fact that they've chosen such a dark shade of blue that they can get away with stripping the paint halfway down the side pod and you don't even notice just shows you how bland that colour of blue is. If they were back to their 2013 era of light blue, then I would back it to be a great livery, you know, because I do like the design layout. And we're not talking about the car shape, by the way. This is all about the livery, not the car shape. We're talking about the livery itself. Yeah, I want them to bring back a bit of colour to the Red Bull side pods as well. You know, bring me a bit of a different, you know, two-tone colour, 2013 vibes like Infinity. Or even just the shade of blue that they had in like 2014, 15, 16. And they were, you know, changing it up with the Red Bull on the side of the chassis. Just, you know, moving it about a little bit, having a bit of fun with the coloured lines they used to have. No, instead there's just one single red line, all boring down the side. Monotone blue, yeah, it's mid. This car would have been great for me a couple of years ago, but it's just eked down to mid because they've not tried hard enough to change it a little bit or just keep it colourful. They've made it very monotone apart from the actual decals of the balls, and for that reason, it's in my mid category, which is really quite harsh to put it in the same category as Haas. Right, we're now going to get on to McLaren, and for me, this... Well, initially, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to lie to you. When it first came out, I thought, it's just solid. You know, I'm not really, I don't think it's really that great. Then I really, really thought about it. I saw the different angles. I actually compared it to last year's McLaren car and the year before that, 2022, and it solidified me for great. Yeah, this is a great evolution for McLaren. This car, if you compare it to the 2022 McLaren of this new era of cars, oh my God, the 2022 McLaren looks gopping now compared to this great livery. And this livery, they got rid of the blue compared to last year, and yeah, it hits. Papaya orange, black, it's nice, it's smart, it's sleek, it's paint stripping done cleverly as well with the way they've put the paint on the top of the chassis and stuff to make it seem like a very orange car for the most part. I like the Marlboro style lines going on there, it's good, and I actually don't mind the chrome logos. I actually think that it works fine. And the chrome numbering I really like. So for me, it gets put in great. Yes, you could argue it's nothing fancy, so it could be solid, but no, I think it is great. It's a great evolution of the McLaren brand and livery. I like it. I like it. It's just a bit me. It looks like it's the third iteration of the McLaren car in the new era, and it shows. It's like a mean evolution of not just the car, but the livery as well. Now, here we come to Mercedes and the Ferrari. Mercedes. Now, I saw the timeline. Lots of people saying, oh, biblical, 10 out of 10. No. It's only great. It's only great, chaps. For me, it's only great. I'll tell you why. So, the rear end of the car, I love it. I really love the rear. Many people are saying I'm backwards, that I don't like the front and I like the rear. They're saying it's the other way around. But no, the rear for me, I love the blend of silver to black. I love a good gradient on an F1 car. You guys know that from my Team Career Mode cars, you know, especially 2021. Remember all those gradients I used to do, white to black, black to white. Love a good gradient on an F1 car. And I love the gradient of silver to black. I love that. And you know what? I do like the front as well now. So I actually like the front and the back. It's the top that I have problems with. I like the front because in the renders it doesn't look that great, but in person, the photo at Silverstone, the front, it looks great because the black blends in to the background. It just looks like a all silver car. Love it. The issue comes when you're at an angle like this, very much so, where you can see the turquoise line going onto the chassis and into the engine cover. It's just too chunky. It's way too chunky for my liking. It's just in your face. It stands out too much. And I know nitpicking, but that's the whole point of making a tier list video like this. If I don't nitpick, I may as well not make the video, okay? I need to nitpick. It's too big. The lines are too big, and the number, I don't like the number. The fact it's not coloured in is just no. I don't like it. I don't like that. So yeah, for me, if the lines were a bit smaller turquoise lines, and the numbers were coloured in, it would be biblical. It actually would, because the front actually is very nice with the silver, and I like the back with the gradient and still the Mercedes chevrons and stuff, the spokes. I like that, but the top, the lines ruin it. And also, the fact there's a red line here, right below a turquoise line, also ruins it a little bit. So it would have been biblical, but it's only grey. It's only grey. And to be honest, I actually have been thinking about this the same way with the McLaren. If there was some white, if there was some white lines or some white added on to the McLaren, that would also become biblical. And the Visa Cash App car would be biblical if it wasn't for its white lines, ironically. So we've got 3 cars here that would go in biblical. That would go in biblical if it weren't for a few little tweaks here and there. And that means, drum roll please, yes, the Ferrari is biblical. Okay? Now, I'm not even a Tifosi. You can't call me a Tifosi. I'm sure the Tifosi themselves would not welcome me into being a Tifosi, so you can't say I'm biased. But I am saying a red car is nice, isn't it? And out of all of them, in a season where colours have gotten darker, paint stripping is there, and things have got duller, or things look generic, or things just look like they haven't tried. Ferrari have tried. They've made the red a lighter shade of red. The white and yellow lines, as Carlos said, are main characters. Very, very lovely. Not too much paint stripping. They've done it strategically in areas, but there's a lot of red here. Red on the wheel covers. I like it. I like it a lot. And it's just a whole round good feel package. And on track, mamma mia, did this car look bloody beautiful. It ate. It absolutely ate, and it cooked, and it ate its own cooking. Lovely stuff from the Ferrari. But like I said, it's a shame. Honestly, this could have gone this way. This could have gone this way. It really could have. But instead, we're going to have this because of the nitpicking. There's little details here. And yes, I know, oh, you're just being picky, but that's the whole point. To get them into these 5 tiers, you have to be picky. And of course, be sure to let me know in the comments below how wrong I am. I'm sure there'll be many people saying how wrong I am, but let me know. Or let me know if you agree with me. And I'll leave a link below to this template, so you can make it for yourselves. You can tweet me if you want, or you can just use it to for your own kind of, amusement or whatever, basically for the tier list to show with your friends and whatnot. So that'll be in the description. But yeah, if you have enjoyed the video, for those of you who wanted to see this, then be sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.